And the Flames lost again with a lack of scoring punch, and they are in the McKenna sweepstakes. End.
Pinder, you're supposed to be in Jasper.
Unbelievable.
But the message rings true. I mean, what we just watched, folks, that is gravity doing its thing. With the 3-1 loss to the Washington Capitals, the Flames have dropped 3 games in a row while being held to a single goal in each of those contests. And for their part, the Capitals bust a 4-game slide in what could be Alex Ovechkin's last trip to the Dome. If anything, we know it's one of his last trips with the new building chugging along. But I'm Cami. He's Mike. It's Afterburner, brought to you by Bet365. Never ordinary. Get in on the game using the code NATION. And while you're with us tonight, get in on the Super Chat to support Youth Centers of Calgary and make your voice heard. YCC gives kids a place whose lives are subject to chaos and uncertainty, a welcoming home-like place with stability, nutritious food, help with homework, and really just healthy connections they might not have access to elsewhere. So help out some kids in need while sharing your pain with us. Mike, I will say, despite the loss, I think that might be Devin Cooley's best performance of the season. He had 35 saves on 37 shots. I think that's the 4th most saves he's had. He got peppered with, I think he had 41 saves against Florida earlier this season. But, I mean, to only allow 1 goal, going 3-for-3 on the penalty kill, that was the silver lining for Calgary tonight.
It is something. It really is. Watching this game, I was struck increasingly by how much Devin Cooley reminds me of another fellow former Flames goaltender in Cam Talbot, just in the way that they sort of stand upright, very good positionally, and when they are on their game, they just make angles impossible for shooters. And Devin Cooley's numbers this year are really something. 6-4-3, 924 save percentage. He is just... It's the best season we've seen from a Flames goaltender in a long time, or from a Flames backup goaltender, pardon me. And quite frankly, from a Flames goaltender. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're the backup of the starter. I mean, the sample size is small, or at least smaller, but it's not that small anymore. It's a solid 17 games now. I mean, even a guy like Chad Johnson, that was about the length of his entire Flames tenure. And we talk about the season that he had, it still comes up from time to time. So, yeah, it's definitely been a silver lining. Otherwise, it was a game that was not much. Maybe that game was radioactive enough that it kept us out of the studio today. It just was not a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, and Cooley, even as of late, going into tonight, he was 3-0-1 in his last 4 starts with a 1.74 goals against average and a 941 save percentage over that stretch. So it's really impressive stuff for him, for a guy who I think people enjoyed the story and weren't necessarily sure what the play was going to be like. I think that the last couple seasons, there's always kind of like that cult player who people just loved. It was Justin Kirkland last year, but I think before he got hurt, and it's nice to have those stories develop in a tough season where there isn't a lot for the team to celebrate, which can start to poison things. But like you said, it was a bit of a nothing game. The stuff that was going on between the whistles was kind of more entertaining.
I found it annoying.
He's higher in the penalty box, isn't he?
He does. Yeah, that's the sort of thing that he does. I just, maybe it's because I have a head cold tonight. Maybe it's because I've been just trying all day to avoid watching this game, and now I am like trying to get through the show, dealing a little bit with an illness. But I just found that all that after the whistle stuff was just getting on my nerves. But it was something, at least. I mean, the first 2 periods of this game were almost painfully dry to a certain degree. So, I mean, yeah, Tom Wilson doesn't have Rasmus Anderson to yell at anymore. So now Adam Klapka is his new target. Something about Tom Wilson in Calgary. I mean, I'm sure fans in other cities say the same thing, but every time he comes to the Saddledome, seems like he's right in the thick of it. And it's certainly effective. He has just gotten better and better and taken on a bigger role for the Capitals over the years. And it's extremely effective for Tom Wilson and the Capitals.
Just always happy when there's a reason to watch the video of him and Rasmus Anderson going to the penalty box and giving each other the gears.
Yeah, of course.
Actually, how like Wilson did the one thing making fun of Anderson's big head?
Yes.
Okay, fun fact, not NHL, but with the Stampeders, obviously Gio there, the equipment guy who is like a CFL legend, part of what he's in charge of is making sure that all the helmets are like custom fit for each guy.
Sure.
So Levi Mitchell is the only quarterback he's ever had whose head got smaller throughout his career.
I don't even know how that happens.
Yeah, right? But I don't know. Thank you for powering through this, and be well, young Michael. Let's recap this thing.
We got Dr. Pepper cream soda on our side tonight.
I don't think it's the doctor you need, but damn it, it's the doctor you have. It was the Flames striking first in this one. Morgan Frost, 10th of the year on the power play, and it was Connor Zary just finding him with a nice cross-ice breakout pass, and Frost is kind of able to wind up the wing and cut to the slot for the screen wrister. And Calgary's done well when they scored first.
Didn't strange. But yeah, I mean, a really nice play by Morgan, and his 10th of the year, and it's going to be a very interesting situation this summer with Morgan Frost being a player who is a year away from UFA status. But it's good to see him producing again, because it's been a bit of a slower last 20 or so games for Morgan Frost after a very strong start to the year.
And it looked like Calgary was a different team from what we've seen the last two home games, particularly the Pittsburgh game, I think, where, just the shots weren't there. They had 19 shots the whole game against Pittsburgh. They had 16 in the first period tonight. And then we went 19 minutes without seeing a Flames shot on net. They ended up being held to, I think it's 4 in the second period there. Yeah. So by my count, I think that's the 15th time this season that the Flames have been held to 4 or fewer shots in a period.
Well, and here's the really concerning thing to me about the Flames shooting capabilities, that there were only 3 Flames skaters, or pardon me, three Flames forwards tonight who didn't have a single shot on goal, and they were Matt Coronado, Connor Zary, and Matt Gridden. And that to me is really concerning. I mean, Gridden was benched after a play that we'll see later on. But yeah, I mean, Zary and Coronado, they played about 15 minutes each. It's a little concerning to me, especially with Coronado, whose shot volume has really, really gone down of late. It's been a noticeable decrease from the start of the season, and I don't know. He doesn't look 100% to me, so it's not ideal. The Flames obviously need a lot more from both those guys, but they're not the only ones either. I mean, that shot by Morgan Frost, that he scored on, that was his only shot of the game. I mean, Joel Farabee only had 1 shot tonight. It's a bit of an epidemic across the lineup right now. Nazem Kadri only had 1 shot on goal in the game. So, they certainly need more from a lot of these guys. But you mentioned it. I mean, they outshot the Capitals 16-8 in period number 1, and the rest of the way it was 30-10. That's quite stark.
And with Coronado, you have to wonder, too, if, maybe something is nagging him. We saw him get spun around pretty good by Tom Wilson tonight. It was a really physical game. You forget how big the Capitals are, but I was down at morning skate today for the first time in a long time, and it was jarring to just take in the size. You always forget how big Alex Ovechkin is until you see him in person.
He's a big fella.
Husky.
Also, saw somebody in the chat saying Devin Cooley is, I think, the 189th goalie Ovechkin has scored on. Ovechkin didn't score on him. He scored into an empty net. That doesn't count.
Yeah, that does not count against his stats.
Don't run Devin Cooley that way.
What's that?
I said, don't treat Devin Cooley that way. He didn't allow that goal.
Yeah. Huh. He should have piled up some snow in his crease, Marc-Andre Fleury style, to try to stop it.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. But we had a bit of a milestone in the second period as well. Hendrix Lapierre gets his first goal in 91 games. Weegar took a pretty huge shot block on that shift, which was great. But, Caps come back and an amazing block that just robbed the Caps of an empty net. But this time he basically creates a rebound for Lapierre just to tuck it in at the side of the net there. So 91 games. Hendrix Lapierre's last goal before this came against the Flames on March 18th, 2024 in Calgary.
Yeah, that's a long streak. It's funny. He got the Warmies boost. We pointed that out on the Warmies that he had no goals all season, and now he gets one tonight in just 9 minutes and 32 seconds of ice time. So a bit of a rough ride for Hendrix, who's been sort of the Capitals' number four-line center all year. I remember that long debate whether the Flames should take Hendrix Lapierre in the 2020 draft. That was one because he'd been coming off such an injury-plagued season. But yeah, just a tough one. You know, a guy like Mac Weegar just can't catch a break right now. It's really, really tough. There's a number of guys on the team who can't, but yeah, the only defenseman tonight who was a -2 for the Calgary Flames. They just keep piling up. It's really tough to see, but just a bad break there.
And unfortunately, there will be more to come. It's a condensed schedule. It's not going to get easier from here. Potentially more moves coming. We don't know what the situation is with Whitecloud now, as we'll get to in a little bit here. But Cooley was great to end the second period, especially on the penalty kill. Alex Ovechkin has definitely lost a step. There were a lot of shot attempts, not so many hitting the net, but he did get one of those incredible one-timers off, and Cooley made a great stop on a 94-mile-an-hour one-timer, which always got to give him that. In the third, when is the last time you saw a defenseman attempt the Michigan?
Yeah, boy, I can't even think. I mean, there's not a long list of guys who I would even trust to attempt something like this. I mean, Chychrun is definitely one of them. Dating back to his time in Zona, he's always been one of the more sort of offensively talented defensemen in the entire National Hockey League. And that's a really high skill play. He's one of the only guys who I think has that mixture of skill and reckless confidence to be able to pull something like this off. You know, Chychrun's always been a bit of a lone wolf in that sense. And so, yeah, it's a really skilled play. Also, seldom do we see a goaltender actually make a save on this. Usually if somebody attempts this and it doesn't go, usually misses or the defenseman knocks the puck down or a variety of other things. And Devin Cooley got across, got his shoulder on it. That was part of a sequence where he was making saves left and right. There was, one that was deflected and he sort of had to punch it out of the air. There was one that was very reactive on his part after he'd been knocked down, got right back up to his feet. Yeah, he's really on it this year in a big way, and it gives the Flames a chance to win every single night. Quite frankly, after the first period, gets a piece of it. I mean, this is crazy stuff right there. One of the best saves I've seen a Flames goalie make all year. So, yeah, he was their best player tonight, bar none.
Yeah, and even it shocks me watching the way the Capitals play tonight, and maybe it's just an indictment of where the Flames are at this moment, but it's hard to look at the way they pass, what Chychrun does, what Protas is doing, and being like, this is a team that's not in a playoff position in the East. Would be in the West, but anyway, Protas did score shortly after that. And again, it's like just going hard to the net. You get another bit of an unfortunate deflection off of Hanley. Wilson's there, and Protas just has to clean up the rebound, and he has nothing but net to shoot at. It's just massive guy.
Yeah, this is
huge impact on the game.
Yeah, that's a tricky one. I mean, it's just Devin Cooley kind of gets muscled out of position here a little bit. He kind of bites. Again, it was a bit of a rough turnover or a bit of a rough play by Braden Bahal there in the corner. But you've got an extremely big guy and Tom Wilson bearing down on you. A lot of defensemen would have turned that over. And ultimately that was pretty much all she wrote. The Flames did not put up much of a fight after this. The 6-on-5 was pretty lackluster. But yeah, I mean, going back to your previous point, it's amazing how the Capitals have sourced some of these players, who are contributing. They would easily be a playoff team in the Western Conference.
Look at who had the secondary assist on that play, Justin Sordiff.
Yeah, I was going to say.
In Florida, and between some untimely injuries and just where Florida was at being as competitive as they were, there wasn't really a chance for him to get into the lineup. And when he got traded to Washington, not for much either, people are kind of like, all right, who is this guy? And granted, he had to take advantage of Pierre-Luc Dubois getting hurt, but he's really been able to get his foot in the door there. He had a hat trick and a 5-point night this year. Justin Sordiff has just found his place in Washington, and it's leading to goals like that. But from there, it was just like all the nonsense stuff that was fun to watch, right? You have Wilson jawing away at the Calgary bench and Klapka. I don't know how you feel about this, but Klapka gets ejected for poking Wilson on the ice with his stick.
It's goofy.
That one.
It's goofy. I mean, it's not that I don't like it. I think I just am annoyed about things with the Flames right now. I think it's actually kind of funny watching it there. As the game was going on, I was just kind of saying, "Oh, come on, end this thing already." We have to spend 5 minutes litigating all these penalties and who's going to get kicked out and whatever. But yeah, I mean, hey, Klapka is a funny guy. He's always been a funny guy. Going back to when he was a Calgary Wrangler, he always seems to know how to push the right buttons to get his team sort of into the fabric of the game. So, yeah, in a better situation, that's the sort of thing that can really give a team a spark. There was not a whole lot that was going to give the Flames much of a spark tonight, but I commend Klapka for at least trying.
I mean, bit of a shit disturber gene there for sure. I think him and Ball, actually, they were talking about it, got into it at practice a little bit this week as well. But then, like, not a bad note to end on. Beyond the Ovechkin empty net, you have Whitecloud limping to the Calgary room after a really hard shot block.
Yeah, he did come back. Hopefully he's all right. Hopefully it's just a little bit of a stinger. But yeah, there were a couple instances of this game where guys were a little banged up. We saw Marty Pospisil, I think, trying to hit Ovechkin at one point, or somebody on the Capitals. I can't remember exactly who. It might have actually been Chychrun. And he went straight back to the bench. Seemed to be all right, which was good. But there were a couple other guys on the Flames as well who appeared to be a little beat up. I'm very curious, speaking of injuries, to see if and when Blake Coleman returns, if he comes back before the Olympics, because that'll make an already crowded Flames forward lineup even more so. Curious to hear, what the sort of chatter is about Matvei Gridin after tonight's game. After, like that first Capitals goal, I forgot to touch on it at the time, but that was a long sequence in the Flame zone that is basically started by Gridin having a bit of a rough play at his own blue line, where he could have gotten it out and didn't, passed it into the middle, and that was intercepted. And we didn't see very much of Matvei Gridin after that. And on one side, I get it. You got to have a standard. On the other side, I don't think that standard is always applied the same to certain players. So, yeah, I don't know. I like Matvei Gridin a lot. He's a very young player, and that might be the move that ends up happening. But, yeah, so just lots going on in this game, even for it being a little bit more on the boring side.
Listen, there's some spoils up for grabs if things continue on this way. Let's look at a couple of the super chats we got here from William. Thanks for helping out Youth Centers of Calgary here. Hubie had more shots, which was good, but 9 games without a point is pathetic. Agreed. Have to pray McKenna or Verhoff save him next season. Or Stenberg, come on now. And
Weegar.
Hat trick tonight.
He sure did. Who are they playing against again?
That's a great question.
I think Penn State was playing, oh gosh, I forget. I know Nodak was playing ASU tonight, and the 3 Flames prospects in that game combined for 1 assist, even though Nodak put up 7 goals on ASU. Just kind of funny how that works sometimes. And I know Tynan and Lawrence had his first goal with BU tonight in the NCAA. And Ethan Wyttenbach had a goal and an assist with Quinnipiac. We'll get to that later on as well. But yeah, I forget who Penn State was playing. Was it like Sacred Heart or something?
Yeah, great question.
I forget.
I'll look
In
it up.
any event. Yeah.
And then we got one from RG here. Cooley over Wolf. Sorry to say it. There's a disparity in workload there for sure. I think
I'm not ready to say that yet.
Yeah.
Penn State playing number 5 Wisconsin, by the way. So pretty good team that playing against. So that's pretty impressive. Yeah.
And one more here from RB Weegar, -2 tonight, -28 this year. Why not trade him?
Horrible time to do it.
Yeah, all-time low. Stock is people aren't investing in that right now.
Well, here's a point that I want to make that's based on a conversation we just had a couple minutes ago. Is Jacob Chychrun, a guy who the Washington Capitals end up getting, and this is a cautionary tale against selling defensemen at their all-time nadir of value, and maybe a cautionary tale as to what would have happened if the Flames had moved Rasmus Andersson prior to the start of this season. Because Jacob Chychrun was traded in very similar circumstances. The Ottawa Senators had him, and they had 1 year left on his deal. He'd scored 41 points in 82 games the previous season, but he was a -30. Very much like what we saw from Rasmus Andersson in his final full season with the Flames. The Flames let him play out the first half of the following season, traded him for good value. The Senators ended up trading Chychrun to Washington for, this is the entire return, Nick Jensen and a 3rd-round pick. That's it. And
Nick
of course,
Jensen,
Jacob.
next legend.
Well, and that's the thing. It's not like Chychrun had no trade value because the Senators had paid a very high 1st-round pick, 12th overall, and 2 second-rounders to get him from Arizona, and they flipped him for that. And I think if you're moving Mac Weegar right now, you're getting less. I think you're getting significantly less with him playing the way that he's playing and having an enormous financial commitment with him. So I think the only meaningful course of action here with Mac Weegar, who is, again, having the worst year of his Flames career and maybe of his NHL career, is to let him use the Olympic break as a balm, continue to play him until, maybe he needs to be shut down or whatever, if that's something that he's dealing with. And you put him into next season and say, clean slate, we're going to move forward from here. Because we just saw Rasmus Andersson going from the Flames, arguably worst overall value player in 24-25, to, I think, indisputably their best pure value player in the first half of 25-26, to the point where he was able to be traded for a substantial return. So, that's the cautionary tale of not panicking when something isn't going the right way for a certain player.
Absolutely. Well, we want to shout out our buddy Derek Newman for helping keep us on the airwaves. Again, I never know if you call it airwaves on YouTube, but anyway, if you're buying or selling a house, condo, townhome, or duplex in Calgary, shout out Derek Newman Group. That's DERRICK. Over 100 million in real estate sold. He's got more than 65 5-star Google reviews. Dylan and I are one of those. And 90% of his business is done through referrals and repeat business. So, once people are with Derek, they tend to stay with Derek. And he doesn't really pressure you when you're getting into it. He's an easy guy to have a conversation with, to just figure out where you're at and if that is the path forward to you. So you can visit the new website, DerekNewmanGroup.com. That's DERRICK NewmanGroup.com, or call 403-619-6661. You mentioned Rasmus Andersson.
Sure did.
That guy got to suit up for the Vegas Golden Knights tonight, and it was not the story of the day. Oh my gosh. Did you watch Marner Bowl?
Oh my God. I'm sorry, Cami, but I refuse to acknowledge the Mitch Marner storyline. I've heard too much about it, except to say that he had no points tonight in a 6-3 win for Vegas over Toronto. Rasmus did, though. He played pretty well.
Yeah, he did not bad at all. That just looked like a mess. Keegan Colasar knocked someone's jersey that they were dangling down. I almost wonder if there had to be something written on that, right?
Yeah, I think it said sellout on the back of it, which, not great.
You know what?
Yeah,
Good
Vegas.
Colasar.
Yeah, Vegas's defense core is starting to look a little bit more well-rounded. And now that Rasmus is in the lineup, they were having to use Jacob Megna while they were waiting for him to resolve his immigration issues. So hopefully those are all sorted out now for Rasmus. Yeah, I mean the thing with the Flames is that they now they have all the reason to want this to be a mutually beneficial scenario. I think everybody already expected Vegas to be a relatively strong team this year and a relatively good playoff team. And so if you're the Flames now, you're saying, okay, let's get these guys as far as they can go and get extra first in a couple of years instead of it being a second. So it's definitely a storyline as we move forward here to see how Rasmus fares with his new digs, and he made a good first impression tonight.
I think Vegas likes to play the villain sometimes, and I think he's just going to fit perfectly for that. I think in his post game, he's like, "Oh, the boos weren't that loud." Paraphrasing, obviously, but he kind of downplayed the noise in there, and he did end up with an assist. He was +1 in 21:33 of ice time, and he gets 2 shots and 3 blocks over that. That's a great debut with a new team.
Sorry, Cami, I don't know if I caught all of that. Are you still there?
Can you hear me? Do you hear me?
Is this on my end? Is this on your end?
I have no idea.
Hello? Anybody there? Anybody home? I'm going to leave and come back.
Which one of us is it, Yasmin?
I think it's just Mike. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, no.
It's okay. He'll come back.
Chat, did you hear me read Rasmus Anderson's stats? Or Yasmin, did you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you. You were perfectly fine, so
Okay.
We'll just wait for-
Perfectly fine. Story of my life. Yasmin, what did you think of the game?
what did I think of the game?
Yeah.
I honestly only watched the third, and that's it. Just the Klapka, that was funny. Other than that, yeah, boring. Nothing
Love
much
that for
going
you.
on. Yeah.
I wonder what those big guys fight about. Like when Ball and Klapka go at it, they say, "I'm tall." No, I'm tall.
No, it's actually crazy how tall Klapka is. Every time I've been at the Dome, see him in person, he just towers over everyone. It's actually insane.
It's wild. All those guys, even Logan Thompson almost reminds me of Ryan Miller. We got to talk to him today, and whew, that guy's huge. And you know what? Let's just take the time while we're waiting for Michael. Shout out Logan Thompson. What a rise for the Calgary kid. Came up in Blackfoot minor hockey, plays in the AJ, plays with the Brandon Wheat Kings, wins a championship with them as a backup, but as a rookie, which is huge, with Jordan Papirny, who is one of the best Wheat Kings goaltenders of all time. I think he's got the record for all-time wins, and he's still in the Vegas system. But, Logan Thompson finishes major junior. He's not drafted. He doesn't have pro opportunities. He goes to Brock University to study sports marketing and has a good enough season there that he's able to get that entry-level deal with Vegas. And look at him now. He's won a Dub championship. He's won a Stanley Cup. And he just keeps on coming back. Like, the guy cannot be knocked down. After that, he just comes back, and now he's an Olympian. We love that for the Calgary kid.
Hello.
Michael.
Welcome back.
Hi. How are you?
Great.
Always love having a backup option right in place. Here we are. How do I sound? Sound all right?
Fantastic.
Sounds good.
This to all the folks in the chat. This is how we start every show. Is me asking how I look, how we sound, and boy, not so great. But thank y'all for bearing with me through that silliness. That's weird. It's not an internet thing. It must be a computer thing. In any event, Cami.
You got a new hairdo as well. Higher the hair, closer to God, Mike. That's what they say.
It's always changing. Uncle Iro in the chat really likes it. Mike's hair looks badass. Amazing. I'll take it. What did I miss?
I was just talking about Logan Thompson's unlikely rise through the ranks. Happy for the local guy. He also said during the pregame skate today that Saddledome is one of his favorite buildings in the NHL just because of his memories going there to watch Iggy and Kippersoft play.
It's my favorite. It's Saddlehome's the best rink in the world. If it were up to me, I would designate the Saddledome a National Historic Site and forbid them from tearing it down. You know, I get it. It requires a certain amount of resource to keep it running. But come on, we can reconfigure it somehow. I refuse to kowtow to Pike, who insists that it must be torn down. I just simply do not agree.
You know, what's the line in the song? They paved paradise and put up a parking lot.
Unacceptable.
R.I.P. I'm gonna cry when it goes. I love the Saddledome.
That's horrible news. I'll be deeply upset.
You betcha. Anything else you want to hit on before we take a look at the road ahead?
Well, I just need to pivot here. Oh, hello. Just need to figure out my setup. There we go. My lighting is it's a mess. Here we
Hey,
go.
Rebiggle, bring back the corral.
This is a rebiggle right here. There we go. Oh, I'm a little too bright. Oh, okay, that's actually worse. Whoa. All right, let's just get through this. Let's go to the road
we can
ahead.
roll with some less than perfect lighting, Mike.
Let's roll with the road
Still
ahead.
have your good side.
That's unacceptable. Road ahead, brought to you by the good folks up at Platinum Mitsubishi, 2720 Barlow Trail Northeast. It's a great spot, especially if you are in the market for perhaps a 2025 Outlander PHEV. I wouldn't go up to Platinum Mitsubishi if you're looking for, say, a loaf of bread or perhaps a new mortgage. But if you're looking for a car, it's a great spot to go. Platinum Mitsubishi, it is the home of the Outlander PHEV with its 10-year, 160,000 kilometer powertrain warranty. The great thing about the Outlander PHEV is it's both a gas car, an electric car, and a hybrid car all at the same time. So they're good folks up there. Once again, that is 2720 Barlow Trail Northeast. And Cami, the Calgary Flames, they just this slog continues. Only 5 more games until the Olympic break for the Calgary Flames, and they will be in action again on Sunday when they're taking on the Anaheim Ducks at the Scotiabank Saddledome, wrapping up this homestand. That'll be a game at 6 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. Is it Standard Time? Is it Daylight Time? I forget. I can't even remember what time it is right now. But that'll be a 6 o'clock game at the Dome. The Flames now 21-25-5. And then they head back out on the road just for a little one-game soiree. That'll be after a couple days rest. It'll be on January the 29th, I believe, when they take on
the 3-day break with the condensed schedule.
It is, yeah. Maybe it'll be a welcomed respite for the Calgary Flames as they take on the Minnesota Wild. That'll be a 6 p.m. puck drop at the, oh gosh, I forget what the new name of the Wild's arena is. I know it's named after a casino. I still call it the XL Energy Center.
I know, that's the one that's burned into my head too. I'm like, not even going to try right now.
Yeah.
Because being in Minnesota, tonight was supposed to be the Hughes Bowl in Vancouver.
And it wasn't.
Yeah. Where are those guys? Jeez.
Yeah, they're somewhere. Somewhere.
I know, but Minnesota will be interesting. They were red hot when they got Quinn Hughes, 3rd in the Central right now, but they're tied with Dallas with 67 points. And Minnesota has really struggled to put together consecutive wins lately, but they're 4-4-2 in their last 10. So it's just seesawing basically over there.
Yeah, and then the Flames finish up the month at the Saddledome on the 31st. It'll be a good one. Max Celebrini coming to the Dome with the San Jose Sharks. That'll be a lot of fun. Just a super skilled player. Probably, in my opinion, one of the best skilled players in the league, and definitely the best young skilled player in the league. The Sharks, they are in action tonight, taking on, I think, the New York Rangers. And the last I checked, they were still ahead. And then just a couple games in February. That's it. And then, I sort of made the point on the Warmies. The Flames, they didn't really get that ahead of the curve by trading Rasmus Andersson when they did. They don't have that many games until the Olympics. They're really, they're pretty close now as far as raw games are concerned. So yeah, on February the 2nd, the Leafs come to town. Austin Matthews, we'll see if what he's up to by then, if he's healthy, if he's scoring, if he's not scoring, who's to say. Before the Flames wrap up their slate of games with the Battle of Alberta, it'll be the Oilers against the Flames, 8 p.m. That'll be a national game, a Wednesday night hockey game on Sportsnet. And then there's no Flames hockey until the very end of February. So it is a lot of hockey in a short period of time, and then it will suddenly stop.
Is that a blessing or a curse?
A bit of both. I think if you're watching this Calgary Flames team, I think a little bit of a break every now and then might not be the worst thing in the world. So I personally myself, I'm looking forward to the rest.
We got a super chat here from RG. Can Mike recommend a good salesperson at Platinum?
I can recommend a number of them. RG, I think you should head on up and see my buddy Tobin Larson. He is a big Capitals fan though, so be prepared to endure a little bit of ribbing. He was at the game tonight. Wanted to see his buddy Ovechkin play one last time, perhaps. It's crazy to think that might be the last time that we'll see Ovechkin on the Saddledome ice, and wouldn't you know it, he got to see him score a goal. So I mean, it's he's the guy you want to see if you head on up to Platinum, 2720 Barlow Trail Northeast.
And how many empty netters does Ovechkin have now?
Oh, a few, but not an invalid, not enough to invalidate his record, I would say. Also, this is Yuri in the chat. Any Ottawa Sens fans do sales? Actually, yes. There's a fella named Ryan Shank who is the biggest Erik Karlsson fan I know. So there you go. Surely they'd sell at a discount. That's a low blow. That's a low blow. Surely the Sens would sell at a discount. Ha! Very clever, but there you go.
And the Ottawa Senators have lost their first overall pick.
Ooh.
First round pick.
Well, that's the thing, is that the fact that the Sens gave up that pick, and we'll see what ends up coming out of it. We've seen the NHL rescind punishments before, but the fact that as it stands right now, they've given up that pick does mean that the Flames picks will all be a little bit better. And as it stands, moving into the next little while, the Flames are projected to have 6 picks in the top 100 of the 2026 NHL draft. And that includes one that I think has sort of fallen under the radar for a lot of fans, which is, a lot of folks were underwhelmed, when the Flames traded Nikita Zadorov to Vancouver, that they were only able to get a 3rd-round pick and a 5th-round pick for him. But that 3rd-round pick was originally the Vancouver Canucks pick, and that means it is the very first pick in the 1st round, or the 3rd round of the 26 draft. So as it stands today, Calgary would get the 64 pick from Vancouver in that deal, basically 65th, but one up because of the Senators pick. So essentially a late 2nd round pick for Nikita Zadorov, which I think a lot of folks would be happier with, all things considered. So so your
campaign for the Ruck Twins is still on.
Campaign for the Ruck Twins is definitely still on, because the thing is, the Flames also have a late 2nd round pick, or no. They have sorry. They have a late 1st and an early 2nd, and then they have essentially a late 2nd and an early 3rd, because they'll have picks, as it stands today, picks number 64 and 66. Now, I don't know where Liam's going to go. I don't know where Marcus is going to go. For those who don't know, very, very good Medicine Hat Tigers forwards who are twins and play with Andrew Basha right now. Mm-hmm. But to me, it's a very interesting, intriguing opportunity, especially with the volume of picks they have. If you had 4 picks in the top 100 or 3 picks in the top 100, you might be less inclined. But if you have 6, and if you might end up with 7 or 8, depending on who you end up trading between now and March 6th, I think it's a very, very possible outcome for the Calgary Flames, because, and also, wouldn't it be satisfying to use a pick from Vancouver on a twin? That to me is very tempting. Now, I see a question here.
You are currently being coached by a former Canucks coach.
Yes, Willie D.
The Sedins.
That's right. So now this is a good question, though, in the chat. Speaking of WHL players, this is from Jux JC. Would Cami draft Jonas Wu? I'm
shocked that Jonas Wu didn't get taken one as an overager, but he's just having such a good season. He's basically been going point for point with Bryce Pickford, who leads the league in goals as a defenseman. They've just been on an incredible run, and I don't know why someone doesn't take a run at Jonas Wu. His brother Jet is in the Abbotsford Canucks kind of system. He's had some injury problems this year, but he was part of the Calder Championship team. Another couple of overagers would be like a Joby Baumüller in Brandon, Ethan McKenzie, who has had a breakout season with Edmonton and is a very well-rounded, maybe not the flashiest defender, but it's a game that translates to the pro level. And he'll be playing at the Prospects game in Vancouver next month. He just made his national team debut with Canada at the World Juniors. Like, that is crazy, actually, to never be a part of Hockey Canada's programming until the World Juniors, to never be at U17s, at Hlinka Gretzky, at U18. So Ethan McKenzie would be another guy to keep your eye on this year.
That's good stuff. Yeah, I mean, if anything for the Calgary Flames, the draft is the ultimate stop on the road ahead. And I'm sure as we continue to progress forward, there will be more to talk about. I mean, there already is. We were going to talk a little bit about Gavin McKenna because he did have a hat trick today for Penn State against Wisconsin and has, I think, 5 goals in 5 games now with Penn State since coming back from the World Juniors. So that's a big thing for a guy whose production last year in the dub maybe set himself up and set fans up to be a little bit disappointed in a certain respect, maybe more so than they should be. With him going to a program that is not necessarily in the upper echelon of NCAA programs historically, at least, and is not necessarily one that instantly translates to big numbers for its prospects. But I think he's been doing a good job. Ivar Stenberg remains red hot for Frölunda. And then also, I sent this to Yasmin before we started recording. This is, I think, really, really important for fans to know about with Ethan Wyttenbach, who had a goal and assist today for Quinnipiac. I think they were the ones who were playing Sacred Heart. And Ethan Wyttenbach for Quinnipiac now up to 35 points in 25 games as a freshman, who I remind you was not expected to play in the NCAA at all this year. Was expected to go back to the USHL. Instead went to the NCAA on the Flames urging and has absolutely ripped it up. Now, I'm mentioning this not only because Ethan Wyttenbach is a really special prospect for the Flames, but also because he's a Hobey Baker finalist, and he's on the long list for the Hobey Baker Award. And I strongly recommend that all you folks out there text the number 26064. Once again, that is 26064 to the phone number 844-623-9688. Once again, that is 844-623-9688. And you can vote for Ethan Wyttenbach for the Hobey Baker. I think it's kind of silly that the Hobey Baker Award is conducted this way, where you have 84 players and then a fan vote whittles them down to 10. My suspicion is that the fan vote is just one piece in that process. But even still.
So yeah. American Idol?
Yeah, like
2001?
It's pretty silly. But yeah, that was Ethan Wyttenbach today scoring another goal for Quinnipiac in what is turning into a season that is impossible to ignore. The kind of NCAA season for a freshman drafted outside of the first round that we've almost never seen. It is crazy that a guy like Ethan Wyttenbach is a legit candidate for the Hobey Baker. It's like he's one of the very top scorers in the nation. And a reminder, you can count on one hand the number of freshmen who have won the Hobey Baker Award. It is not a award that players like this are normally up for. And Ethan Wyttenbach isn't just up for it. I would be shocked if he's not one of the 10 finalists. I wouldn't be shocked if he's a hat trick finalist, one of the 3 finalists. And I wouldn't be shocked if he has a legit chance to win, which is unbelievable stuff. So go vote for him. He deserves it, and get excited. It's worth getting excited because Lord knows there's not enough to be excited about right now.
Equally as exciting as a potential Hobey Baker win, Big Axe. Axel Hurtig was on the ice for the Shoresy Classic in Calgary this week.
Yes, so was our buddy Rhett.
Yeah, how'd that go for him?
I saw he had a decent shootout attempt. I don't think he scored on it.
Keyword.
Yeah, attempt being the keyword. I'll say this: he hasn't gotten any faster, but he, I don't know. He's not bad.
He gets up to speed. Fast,
He gets up
not
to speed.
quick. Fast,
But
not quick.
yeah. Yeah, it's put it in car terms. He's got decent horsepower still. The torque is just really letting him down. Poor rat.
Go say it to his face.
Oh, I will.
One more super chat here from Flames Enjoyer. Baller and Whitecloud, both 25-minute night. That our first pair now. Well, hopefully if Whitecloud's okay.
Yeah, I think he's going to be all right. But yeah, still a bit of a scary scene. I mean, for all the talk that there's been about maybe flipping Zach Whitecloud or whatnot, so you don't want to see that guy get hurt. That's for sure, especially not after Blake Coleman got hurt. But yeah, I mean, he's a horse. The thing with Zach Whitecloud that I think differentiates him in a certain sense is just the fact that he played with Vegas, and because he played with Vegas, he's up to speed. He just is used to playing faster because Vegas is a team that is fast. And he just comes to Calgary. It reminds me sort of in the opposite way of when Tyler Toffoli got traded to Calgary. And in the early games, when he first arrived from Montreal, Darryl was really limiting his usage because he was playing too slow. The Habs were a bad team and they weren't up to speed. And Darryl was like, if he's going to play for one of the best teams in the league, which the Flames were that year, he has to get his conditioning to a certain level. And I think what we're seeing right now is that kind of working in reverse, where Whitecloud was playing and conditioned to be at a certain level in Vegas, and now is on a Flames team that is not quite at that level. And so by association, even, he just looks faster, which is also just a matter of, I think he's a real pro, and I think he is a very good player who the Flames are lucky to have for as long as they have him.
All right. Let's take a look at Bet365 so you can get to bed and start healing.
Thank you. So this is a look at an interesting bet from the folks at Bet365. This is a morning game tomorrow, so you'll want to get in your picks tonight, most likely. But these are a couple teams that have caught my eye all season long. I keep talking about Buffalo on the show, on any shows, because I am officially on the Sabres bandwagon. 28-17-5. They have won 21 of their last 30. They have been red hot. They just signed Josh Doan to an excellent new contract. So I really like these Sabres, but they are technically below the Islanders in the standings, even though they have a better record. The Islanders are in a divisional playoff spot in the Metro, but the Sabres are in the Atlantic, which is much better, much more concentrated up top. So Whitecloud, as far as the wild card situation is going, Sabres are at 61 points. They are just 4 points up on Philadelphia, which did beat Colorado tonight. And so these are two teams that are very close. But the Sabres, I like this bet. It's strange to me that they're not favored in this game. They're at -105. I would very much go with the Sabres in this one, even though it is a morning game. So check that out. It is a good spot to go and bet on some games.
And the Islanders are going to have Bo Horvat back, and he was red hot before he got hurt.
Yes, he was. Canadian Olympian, Bo Horvat. Who would have thought?
Again, a lot of former Canucks talk going on today.
Hey, you know what? It's a team that's always involved, isn't it? I mean, in certain respects.
For better or for worse.
What's JT Miller up to? Ooh, yeah, so. Oof.
The funniest thing that can happen now is him going back.
To Vancouver? Yeah, of course. Why not, right? It couldn't be worse.
Oh, God. Could you imagine?
Be
I don't know.
Nightmare.
I want it for the Sabres so bad. They got to get in. They've got to get in.
Oh, of course.
The Senators are the new Eastern punching bag.
Unfortunately, yeah, they just can't get a save. But yeah, the Sabres are my new team. I mean, I've kind of been on that wagon all year long. I've been following Buffalo, but boy, this time around, I think there's something really happening there. I wouldn't be surprised to see Calgary and Buffalo make a deal at some point.
Let's look at Bet365, Never Ordinary, Code Nation. You know what it is. We got one more from Shrimp on the Barbie here. Gordon gets sat because they're still chasing 97 points.
Not happening. For the Flames to get to 97 points here, let's just do some quick math right here on my phone. Flames right now have 47 points through 51 games. So it's for them to get to 97 points, they need to get 50 points in their last 31 games. And let's just see here. 31 games, they could possibly get 62 points. So we're going to talk 50 points divided by 62 points. And that is a points percentage of 806. Not happening with the last 31 games. But no, I don't dispute that Ryan Huska is trying to compete in a certain way. I mean, obviously the line to make the playoffs in the West this year is unlikely to be 97 points. It's not like the Flames are that far out of it. It's not like they're the Canucks. The Canucks are really far out of it. But they are far out of it. They are not going to make the playoffs this year. It would require, it's not even a matter of how far out they are. It's just how many teams they have to, how many teams they have to pass. They have to pass the Jets. They have to pass the Hawks. They have to pass Nashville, Seattle, LA, and then another team that's still in the playoff picture. So that's not going to happen. And at a certain point, there will be, I think, a didactic shift for the Calgary Flames as we move forward. But as it stands right now, sure. I mean, you shorten the bench in certain respects. That's maybe what we saw tonight.
Yep. So we got 5 more games to get through before the Olympic break. I think I saw that we need to figure out if the Unicorn is going to be opening up for some of those early games, because bars can open early for the Olympics.
Can they? Is that a rule?
I thought so.
Maybe. I'm not disputing it.
It'd be neat. Or I will go watch the reruns there at a reasonable hour.
Yeah, Cami,
and I won't feel the fear of not knowing what's going to happen.
You still got that it's 9 o'clock somewhere shirt, I'm sure. Somewhere.
Actually, our oven's broken and it's stuck on 5 o'clock, and I almost don't even want to replace it.
There you go. It's a good spot though, Unicorn. It's a great spot. A couple of good spots. 4th Street, Southwest, 8th Avenue, or it's 8th Avenue, right? It's 8th Ave, yeah, Stephen Ave. That's the one, right?
Yes, sir.
Calgary
and then the other one down on 4th. Yep.
It's a good spot. It's a fantastic spot. We went.
Responsibly enjoyed the product many a time.
Yeah. It's just, Calgary is a city that has a lot of places that are, in my opinion, a little anonymous. That maybe don't have the personality. And the Unicorn's got some personality. You go there and it's one of one. It's a unicorn, as it were. And Calgary needs more places like that. But for now, the Unicorn, hello.
There you are. Game day $7 pints of Molson Canadian. Go hit that up on Sunday. Wear your jersey. You might just find yourself coming into possession of some free tickets to get over to the Dome and enjoy it.
Now here's the thing. It's a good promotion that the Unicorn puts on with the free Flames tickets. At this point, though, that sounds a bit like a threat. Oh, here you go. It's like that joke where oh no, I had two Flames tickets sitting on the passenger seat of my car, and somebody broke in and left 2 more. That's
yeah, I see that all the time.
Yeah, it's. I mean, hey, you know what? I like a good night at the Saddledome as much as anybody. I love the Saddledome. It's the best arena in the world, in my opinion, in my completely unbiased opinion. At this point, though, as we go into the latter part of the season, unless the Flames are going to be changing their roster a bunch and getting some younger players in here, I don't really want to go to a whole lot more games. But you know what? They could go on a little run here. They could put in some more. They could put a little bit more emphasis on the younger players as we move forward. It's just my focus right now, as it pertains to the Flames, is all off the ice.
Exactly. But lots to look forward to still. AHL action, the Laval Rockets in the town. If you want to go see Zane Perek, they play Saturday. They play again on Monday for those 2 games against the Habs farm team. And then we got Sunday.
I'm very excited to see what Zane can do this weekend. Might have to go see if the Unicorn has an AHL TV subscription. Actually, you know what? That's not a thing anymore. They have them on. I think they have all those games on Flow now. So they've probably got it. They've probably got a hookup. So yeah, we'll make it work. We'll have a Zane-a-thon down there. I'll call some people.
Perfect. And I would play, but I'm kind of bad at guitar. I mainly play bass, and my fingernails are too long right now, but I will another night. We have to get Boomer to do that too.
Boomer's got the board. He'll just give you a backing track and you'll be on your way.
Perfect. Perfect. I think Crazy Train is the only one I could do without thinking in my sleep.
Really? I can't do anything. I played on the big old kettle drums in high school. That was all I could do. I was in percussion, if you can believe it.
Yeah, you have that energy.
Do I?
Yeah.
Just
I
sitting
don't
in
know. I'd say you have clarinet energy.
Oh, no, thank you.
I was flute. Flute was for bitches.
A flautist.
Yes.
A flautist. Hello. That's not bad. It's not
To
bad.
play Jethro Tull songs.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Also an accordion kicking around back here.
Oh, weird Cami. I like it.
You know, I went on like a date with a guy. He took me to the Boston Pizza by Sate. And at the end of the night, I was going on my way. I was going back to the train. I'm like, cool, like, nice seeing you. See you later. And he's like, I got something for you in my car. I assumed that something was murder, but it was an accordion.
And he gave it to you?
Yeah, so I took the accordion and this giant suitcase back on the train to Sate, and I can never part with it now. I want to learn how to play Radio Video by System of a Down on it.
Is that the Boston Pizza at like North Hill Mall?
Yes.
Oh.
He had a tattoo on the inside of his lip.
Oh boy. How long ago was this? Oh.
I was in college.
Oh dear. I think that's a good stepping off point for tonight.
Right.
Oh yikes.
On that note, friends, what's worse, that story or this game?
Tough one.
Yeah, too close to call, frankly. Woof. But we'll end it there. Mike's unwell.
NyQuil.
Heal yourself. Have some more Dr. Pepper. Everyone else, have yourselves a fantastic weekend. Thanks for hanging out. See if the Flames can get more than one goal on Sunday. Adios.